maybe, you know, this is an event where Macquarie brings in a lot of their business partners, not least people from the finance community. To pose to you the question, like, you know, if you look at people like Macquarie and the likes, what is their role? And you mentioned some of the challenges for the next 10 years. What could be the role of Macquarie to basically, together with you, fully unlock the potential of the technology, which we certainly do have in our hands now, to achieve the Paris climate goals? What do you see as our contribution, maybe together with you, to make that really happen? Maybe Andreas first.
Yeah, I think, Samuel, as I tried to say at the beginning, we need to work together much better, not only in how we execute projects, but also that we have our voices aligned. And Mechthild, we talked about finance and structural reforms. If you just look at the US, for example, we all acknowledge there's new investment needed in order to get the offshore sector in the US off the ground. And if it's not a question of 200 million in investment into a blade factory in Virginia, that money would be there. But as long as the background, and we've gone through that so many times in various countries in the world, as the background and the stability for that and the structure is not stable, it's not the 200, it's the question, do I ever get back my 200? And it's an ideal case. You save CO2 instead of transporting blades across the oceans. You create jobs locally, acceptance. It's at least the same cost for LCOE. And I think that we should do together, and just make sure and make clear to the governments, we can do this for you. We can bring all these benefits that we all want, and not fight each other, but have a common voice to governments and say, we can do this. These are a few conditions that I think make sense also for your country, and let's go.
Mechthild?
I also think we need everything to increase investments. COVID-19 has probably, our estimation is 20% down investments in the energy sector because of COVID. But I think what we obviously need from institutional investors is a bit less conservative, to be less conservative and invest more in new, clean, greener technologies. See the benefits not only in the next quarter or in the next half years of the investment, but in a longer term, keeping the climate objective, the long-term objectives more in line with investment, and be maybe a bit more risky and invest. We need half of the technologies which are not mature in order to be climate neutral by net zero in 2050. So a bit more risk taking, a bit more foresight in technologies which are not yet there, which needs to be scaled up. Hydrogen is an example, batteries are an example, all that what we needed in the future. And I think we all can be a bit more forward looking on that.
Okay. Unfortunately, time is up, so thank you very much. We tried to explore the topic a bit better, but the time is always scarce. But I think we got some interesting food for thought from both of you. I would summarize it like, the good news is we have an action plan on how we can actually not only overcome the current economic crisis, but also at the same time rebuild better. And that action plan, as I said, is the Sustainable Recovery Plan done by IEA and the IMF, which is certainly very worth looking at. At the same time, if I compare to the beginning of the last decade, certainly Andreas and the likes have given us very, very powerful technological tools to really address the challenge. So in many ways, we're in a really good starting position for the next 10 years. A number of nuts to crack to make everybody sustainable financially, certainly introduce sufficient long-term thinking, but also make sure that structural reform is going hand in hand with the huge availability of funds that are currently visible in order to make it happen. Thank you very much, both of you, for being with me today and for a lively discussion. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you.